Alright, I'm back again. I'll try to make this relatively brief. I just really have two things I want to talk about. Um, I'll have some links down below like always, but this is my script for one of the options, and it's just because there's certain little tidbits of information that I wanted to make sure I got right. The first one is it's an article from CNN. Apparently, Kamala Harris has lost yet another person in her senior cabinet member. I'm covering this because so many people on the left love to cover and make jokes about every time Donald Trump lost someone, and Kamala Harris has lost a few. And then in this article, it does state that people are claiming she feels politically isolated, which is very interesting. It's almost like they realize she has certain ambitions, and they're trying to put a stop to them, if you will. Keep her in her place. I know this. I've had places where I've worked where management have done similar things like this. So that doesn't seem too far out, but it's also worth noting that in this article it did mention that in other offices she's held, she's had a tendency to have a fairly high turnover rate. Apparently she just ain't a likable person. The other thing, and it's not necessarily 100% what it sounds like. This is kind of like a proof of concept. Apparently in October, the IRS announced they were, I do know they announced they were backtracking we're going to audit any purchase over $600. I remember that. I don't remember where they changed it to if you spend more than $10,000 a year, then we're going to audit you. I don't remember that part. Now, I do know, like I said, that was kind of middle to October. There's an article from CBS I'm putting down below that was dated October 22nd, I believe it was. And it's interesting. I'll have another link through, I think it's Wall Street Journal, where you can check the news reports from all that time frame by day. And it's very interesting. There wasn't a whole lot of mention about this on, I think it was Wall Street Journal, but wasn't a whole lot of coverage on it. Not a whole lot that I could find in a search that was very prominent. Then again, it was also overshadowed a bit by talks of the upcoming Rittenhouse trial and the Alec Baldwin shooting incident, which was on the 22nd, the date of the CBS article. Well, I don't know if it's actually on the 22nd, but I did check on the date, the 22nd, which was the date of the CBS article, and there was no mention on the link I'm going to put down below. But they were mainly talking about that incident. And also another little update on that, the Alec Baldwin shooting, is that apparently he pulled the hammer back, but it wasn't his fault because he claims he didn't pull the trigger. Well, I know it was a Pieta 45 long Colt. Single action Army. It's a replica, but I've not actually handled one of those specifically. I want one, but or just get a Colt. Go original, but I know when it comes to single action armies, they're single action army, but single action only, but they have a fairly light trigger pull. So it is very much a real possibility he could have pulled the hammer back and not even realize he hit it. He just hit it. Not an intentional squeeze or pull, as he put it. You're supposed to squeeze it, but that's a possibility. Or it could just be, while in the process of pulling the hammer back, it just let loose and the rest is history. So either way, it looks like there is a certain degree of negligence toward him on this, even though he's trying to deny it for liability purposes. Anyway, I've rambled a good bit, threw quite a bit in there for 5.5 minutes. I'm going to end it right here. Let me know what you think. Basically, do you think it's a coincidence that the IRS, or the government in general, seems to make announcements like the $10,000 a year thing when there's other big news stories to distract it? Is that just a coincidence, or do you think that they kind of hold on to information till there's news stories blowing up? Something to think about. I think it's pretty much universal that people don't like Kamala Harris. That's why I've nicknamed, in one of the videos, I nicknamed her Horseface Harris. Never liked her. Anyway, later.